Hello students, this is Ms. Mason here and we are back for geology lesson number 15. Woo! And Brutus is here and excited, going to provide more commentary. Hopefully it's not too distracting for you, but at least it's going to keep you awake. Today we're going to talk about the second type of rock. First type we talked about, igneous, formed from cooled and solidified magma or lava, such as granite and basalt. All right, we learned that there are two types of igneous rock. We have intrusive, made from below the surface of the earth, and then we have extrusive, made above the surface of the earth. So those are the two types of igneous. Woo! Next thing, today we're going to learn about the second type of rock called sedimentary rock. So sedimentary rock is the most common type. Actually, 3/4 or 75% of rocks are sedimentary rocks. And they're formed from sediment. And sediment are fragments of rock. Smaller fragments of rock that have been worn away from larger rock called weathering and moved to different locations. That's called erosion. So sedimentary rock is made of sediments. It is also the only type of rock that you will find fossils. There are three types of sedimentary rock. The first type is called clastic sedimentary rock. Clastic. Clastic is made from clasts. And clasts are pieces of rock. So clasts are fragments of other rocks. That's what clasts are. So clasts are pieces of other rock. And when they're put together, cemented, compacted, they can form clastic sedimentary rock. Woo! So, first type of sedimentary rock is clastic sedimentary rock. These are made from sediments. We talked about sediments, similar to what clasts are, pieces of rock that have been broken. Sediments are actually classified according to their size that range from clay, which is the very, very smallest, to silt, to sand, and then up to boulders. So sand technically could be made of any type of mineral. To be classified as sand, though, the particles have to be within a size range of 0.006 centimeters to 0.2 centimeters. If that's the particle size, that is considered sand. So clay is the smallest, boulders the largest. So sediments can range in different sizes, and that's how they're classified. So examples of some clastic sedimentary rock include sandstone, and sandstone is when particles of sand particles are packed and compressed together. We also have shale that is actually made of compacted clay particles. And clay is really, the particles are smaller than sand. And then a conglomerate, which has different size ranges of clasts. So different size ranges of fragments of rocks in it. So the first type of sedimentary rock is clastic sedimentary rock. Clastic, so fragments of rock. The second type of sedimentary rock is called chemical sedimentary rock. And it's broken up into a couple categories based on how it's made. So the first one are called evaporites. And these are produced from evaporation. So rock salt is produced from the evaporation of seawater. Seawater contains salt, right? So halite crystals can form rock salt. So that is a type of chemical sedimentary rock. The other type of chemical sedimentary rock is called precipitates. So precipitates are made when a solution is super saturated with like a mineral, has too much of it, can't hold on to it anymore, and that mineral escapes from the solution and starts to solidify at like the seafloor, on the seafloor. So an example is one type of limestone, which is calcium carbonate related to calcite, is made in the ocean from this process of precipitation. So what happens is, if cool seawater gets hot, it can't hold as much calcium carbonate. So when it heats up, it cannot hold the amount of calcium carbonate it normally could. So that causes that calcium carbonate to actually escape from the seawater and precipitate out of the solution. In other words, the crystals start escaping the solution and forming on the bottom of the ocean. And that is in the form of calcite. So the mineral in limestone, calcite. And one of the ways that limestone can be formed is through precipitation. So the ocean gets very hot, and as the ocean heats up, it cannot hold that calcium carbonate in the water as well. So that calcium carbonate precipitates out. In other words, it escapes the solution. It escapes, and when it escapes, it forms at the bottom of the ocean in the form of limestone, which is calcite, made of the mineral calcite. And limestone is used to make concrete. Limestone can also be made from the remains of ancient life. So it can be also considered another type of sedimentary rock. But one way limestone can be formed is through precipitates. The third type of sedimentary rock is called bioclastic rock. So bio means life. Remember, the clasts are those pieces of rock, the sediments, the fragments of rock. If it gets all pushed together, this organic matter gets compressed, that can form these bioclastic rocks. And coal is the most common example. So coal is really formed from plants that have died and got pressed together, stuck together to form coal. So that is why coal is considered really a fossil fuel, because it came from fossilized remains of plants. It came from plants that died millions of years ago. So that is bioclastic rock. Limestone can also be considered bioclastic depending on how it's formed. So if it's formed from the calcium carbonate in the water that precipitates out, it would be considered a chemical sedimentary rock. But if it's formed from like the old shells of invertebrates lived in the ocean, fossilized, then it would be considered bioclastic sedimentary rock. So limestone can be formed a couple different ways. But those are the three types of sedimentary rock. So the first type of sedimentary rock is clastic, formed from smaller fragments of rock called clasts. Example were sandstone, conglomerate, shale. Second type of rock is chemical sedimentary rock. Examples, limestone and rock salt. And the third type of sedimentary rock is bioclastic. So you think of coal, fossil fuel. The three types of sedimentary rock. Remember, sedimentary rock comes from sediments.